This is your host, Brian McDonough, and today marks the 10th episode of the S.B.R. podcast. On today's show, we will be joined by Joseph Ravert and James Santore. Before we get started and bring on our guests, I want you all to do something for me. For those listeners who went to college or even high school, I want you to think back at a particular activity, whether it be a sport, club, or organization that meant a lot to you. Now imagine if that program was cut while you were in college or high school. How would that make you feel? I know personally, I'd be devastated, especially if I was told that there isn't much you can do to save that club, team, or organization. On today's show, Joseph Ravert and James Santore will be discussing a very similar experience. As alumni and former baseball players at Salle University, they recently heard the news that their program will be cut. Like any of you who just took part in that exercise can imagine, this was devastating news to not only Joe and James, but the current players and coaches that make up Salle University men's baseball program. I now want to welcome these two Salle University baseball alumni to discuss the steps that they have taken to save their proud program. Joseph Ravert and James Santore, welcome to the show.
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining. Why don't you guys start off by kind of talking about your relationship with LaSalle baseball, if you don't mind, when you played. Obviously, you both are alumni. How about James? Why don't you start first?
Honestly, LaSalle was the best 4 years of my life for many reasons. But as somebody that was fairly introverted in high school, I was looking for a chance to play college baseball, but didn't have that many choices. And especially being from the area, LaSalle was a perfect opportunity for me to go and be able to play the Division I baseball that I always dreamed of, and also make the best friends and the best relationships I could have ever asked for. So LaSalle means the world to me, and especially LaSalle baseball, because it provided me all the opportunities I needed to be successful in life. And everything I'm able to do now, my job in venture capital, is because of time management skills, the perseverance, and all the other types of things you learn as a college athlete. So LaSalle provided me this outlet. LaSalle provided me all the things I have in this world, and I need to make sure that the next generation of athletes has that same thing. And I got to meet Joe, who's been my roommate for the last, 5 years, through LaSalle. And look, he's an amazing guy, and it's pretty awesome that we're able to do this together to try to save something we care so much about.
Yeah, no, it seems really cool you guys are able to do this together. And it even seems like the team, today is obviously getting involved, former alumni, network of family and friends. Joe, how about you? When exactly did you play? What position did you play? And what does the program mean to you?
Yeah, same time frame as James. Fall of 2012 to spring of 2016. Was able to pitch and play first base at LaSalle, and to me, LaSalle was a place. It was the perfect fit. Big 5, 8-10 Catholic school close to home. Coming from Malvern Prep, getting that Catholic education was big to me, and I grew up, going to Big 5 games, going to 8-10 games. And kind of following all like Big 5 sports and Big 5 baseball in particular. And for me, it was kind of, a perfect match. I was able to stay close to home, have the opportunity to be a two-way player, to pitch and play the field. And on top of that, I met, incredible people. Got a great business degree from the LaSalle Business School. So for that and the friends I have that, are lifelong friends, I'm eternally grateful, and it wouldn't have been possible without the opportunities that were presented at LaSalle.
Yeah, no, that's great. And it seems like this news just kind of came out of nowhere. I saw a comment your coach made. You guys just the news came out, obviously with COVID, there's a bunch of college programs that are being cut all around the nation. What was your first kind of thought that hit your head right away? Obviously negative news, but what was going through your mind when you heard the news?
We got an email. It was the middle of a work day on a Monday or a Tuesday. We were I think it was Tuesday, James.
Yeah.
I was working here and James was working upstairs, and I went up and banged on his door. He's like, I want to call. I'm like, hey, check your phone. Check your phone. Because I'd sent a blasted text out wow, LaSalle just cut baseball. And honestly, it's something just gets pulled right out of you. It's part of our identity. It's part of who we are. And it's just completely erased, from our past. Going forward, we want our kids to go to LaSalle baseball games. I'm like, oh, LaSalle doesn't even have a team anymore. So that was kind of like the first thing I thought of, like, wow, this is kind of sad. And I'll kind of flip it over to James for his initial reaction.
Yeah, so Joe knocked on my door. He told me to check my phone, and immediately I knew something was up. So I was really nervous. I didn't know if it was something that was, a death or somebody was sick or something like that. And honestly, finding out that the program was cut gave me that same feeling of finding out that there was a death in the family or that there was somebody that was really sick. It was one of those feelings like, I cannot believe this is happening. It is such a big part of our lives, such a big part of our identities. And the thought of even having that taken away where we can't be proud of playing for LaSalle baseball because it doesn't exist anymore was something I never even really had to think about. Like, obviously, we'd always kind of thought of, hey, college sports are struggling. Current economic climate isn't, good for small private institutions. But the first thing that, I think I thought of, and I know Joe thought of as well, is what are we going to do? We're not going to sit back. We're not going to let this just happen. We need to at least put our best foot forward to, help save the program that, honestly, I would say this: LaSalle baseball saved me. Like, I have no idea where I'd be right now without it. And that's the truest statement I could possibly say. Like, I honestly don't know where I'd be without LaSalle baseball. So we immediately got to work. We started a town hall with as many alumni and people that cared about the cause as possible on, I guess it was last 2 Wednesday nights ago. And we had 60 plus people on there that all cared about this program so much and all wanted to put their input of how they can help save the cause. And I think that was really the start of this, is where we started brainstorming. We started thinking about, hey, you know what? There's a lot of people that care about this. What's the next step? How can we get this out there to more people to care about this cause? And what can we actually do to save the program? So that town hall was really a kickstarted all this. And from there, it was honestly off to the races. And everybody that's helped out and reached out and reshared and retweeted things is all part of this. And again, now we have this entire community of people that care so much about LaSalle baseball that they want to see it back. And it's not just LaSalle baseball, it's LaSalle and LaSalle athletics as a whole. So this is really a movement, and it's been really, really exciting. And I know all the players currently on that team, it means the world to them. So that's what this is all about, is, again, creating those future explorers so they can have the same experience we did.
Yeah, so text messages start flying around. You guys have a couple meetings. I know that anytime I post about LaSalle baseball on my Twitter, random people just interact with my tweet that I don't even know who they are, but obviously tons of impressions. It's also great too, because it's kind of cool from my perspective. My dad played LaSalle tennis, and unfortunately that program was cut. I visited LaSalle in high school, checked out the baseball program, was really impressed with the coach back then, the facilities, just everything. You can see what it means to just the two of you here and the whole LaSalle community and the current players. The past week has been crazy from my perspective, just kind of watching social media, monitoring Twitter, Instagram. And even if, you follow Dave Portnoy, if you follow Barstool Sports, talk about that experience a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of kick it off. So part of our brainstorming, not only on that town hall, but a lot of it's been informally, just between James and I, since we do live together. We just kind of were like brainstorming, like, who we should reach out to. And like, I was like, oh, like, what if we reach out to like Big Cat? And James was like, yeah, like, I was thinking about reaching out to Barstool too. Like, it's a good idea. We have nothing to lose. Next thing you know, he throws up this tweet to even above Big Cat. I wasn't even going to go for Prez, but James was about, let's go for Prez. And then I'll kind of like let James run with it from there. It's kind of his story to tell.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Again, obviously I was lucky enough to be on this podcast. Before we're talking about what I do at 76 Capital, but a big piece of what we do is invest in sports betting. And being a Barstool fan from the start, and also understanding what they've been able to do with their Barstool Sportsbook launch in Pennsylvania, I thought there was a perfect opportunity to bring them into the mix here. And given their demographic, given their audience, and given what we need people to care about and how we can get them to care about it, Barstool made the most sense. Obviously, some people aren't thrilled that we use Barstool, but look, we're only trying to make positive things happen here, and I think that's what we've been able to do. So cultivating that positivity through Barstool is a really big piece of this. But I reached out to Portnoy because everybody knows who Dave Portnoy is. He's a very polarizing figure, and I want to make it fun. So saying that we can name the field after him, kind of making the funny tweets and memes, things like that, it's kind of an easy way to approach it and made people actually think it was funny and care about it. And if we look at it from the perspective that Portnoy is new to Philly, he loves the city, he's the so-called king of Philly, and there's a baseball program in need that really could use somebody like him, like his help. It was a perfect storm. So again, I just put the tweet out there. It was one of those things, I just wrote it, I sent it, and next thing I know, it kind of went a little viral. And again, virality is all luck. You have to have the right people engage with it, the right people see it. And honestly, we got extremely lucky with the way it worked out. But he was in right away as soon as he sent that tweet back to me. And at that point, it was kind of a scramble trying to find out how to actually get in touch with him to figure out the ways to save the program. And luckily, I believe it was Patrick Gordon from Philadelphia Baseball Review sent me a DM on Twitter and said, "Hey, here's Portnoy's email. Email him." So I shot him an email kind of outlining what we need to do, how I think we could do it using Barstool. And I want to make sure this is clear. We've never asked them for money. We never thought or asked them for money because that's just not how this is going to work. Like this is bigger than just getting, a few $1,000,000 or a few $100,000. This is for the greater good of LaSalle. So we wanted Barstool to help with the publicity aspect. And that's what, obviously the pizza review that happened the other day, that's what it helped to do. Now over 1.5 million people understand the cause. They've seen the cause. They know what they can do to help. And that's what we want. And people really do care about and know about LaSalle way more than they did last week.
Yeah. It's LaSalle baseball. It's other college programs. It's raising awareness for what's going on right now with COVID and just the surrounding financial impacts on collegiate sports and college campuses. That being said, I know you guys kind of mentioned, I actually saw his pizza review most recently. He was even repping an Explorer shirt on the pizza review, which was pretty sweet to see. So it goes beyond just the last episode. You can see he kind of cares. He's getting involved now. That being said, administration wise, athletic director, are you guys have any plans there?
Would they be willing to listen to us? We ultimately want to speak to them about the decision, ways that we can bring the program back, ways that we can improve the athletic department, and ways that we ultimately, and this is our end goal, to improve the entire university. We're out to improve the university, not only for the student athletes, but the entire student population. And we feel that what we have in place right now, we can do that. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the big thing is we want to make LaSalle look good here. We want to work with them. We have no ill will. We understand the financial situation, understand the situation in general. And we really want to make the school a better place for everybody. And that's inclusive of every single person on that campus, every team, every faculty member, literally everybody. So we want to work with them. We don't want to work against them. Everything we've done to this point has, again, been positive. We want to make sure that, again, that's very clear. But we have been speaking with the right people at the higher ups at LaSalle to make sure that they want to hear us out. They get us a chance to share our business plan, which it is a business plan. It isn't just a bunch of stuff thrown together and hope here. It is a way to bring LaSalle revenue and generate revenue that they haven't been able to generate before. And also not just save baseball, but save the other programs as well. So trying to go for the greater good of LaSalle here, as opposed to just trying to be selfish and save the baseball team. And again, we have gotten in touch with the right people. Our voices are starting to be heard. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to the success we've had on the social media side. So we just got to keep continuing with that. And look, we have some great guys working behind the scenes with us, Kevin McGowan and our other buddy Drew, who's he's cooking up the videos behind the scenes that we got a lot of love for that last week. So we're excited for part 2 to come out soon. But really talented guys. They're working really hard behind the scenes to help us out here. So we have a lot of good stuff coming. And again, you just got to keep it rolling so people really still continue to care about this. And there's a lot more coming besides that as well.
So as far as, anyone who wants to get involved, people who've been maybe affected by their former college program or current college program getting cut, how do they get involved? How do they help save LaSalle baseball for those who want to make a difference in the community? Maybe not just in Philly, but nationwide. Yeah,
reshare, retweet, continue to spread the good word about what we're trying to do. And also, if you're somebody that is a business person that wants to help out, has an idea of ways we can help save this program and the other programs, please reach out to us. That's how we've had success on that side of things, as far as people reaching out that have seen what we're doing and think that there's ways they can help. So that's the type of stuff that's going to help us create this business plan that's going to make it be effective in saving these programs. And again, we appreciate everybody that's done anything to help interact with our cause and everybody that's reached out to help us here. So again, this next few weeks are going to be a lot for us. We both have full-time jobs. We're both kind of doing this on the side, but we actually operate like a business. This is really take this seriously. There's so many different approaches that we have to take and so many different things to think about. That this isn't just like hey, let's go do this, and have fun with it, and then hope for the best. We really try to be proactive in understanding the results of everything we do and making sure that we have the next steps planned ahead. So, everything we're doing is for a reason. So we're excited for the next steps, and we have some really good stuff coming this week to really continue to grow this new brand we have, I'd say, of Save LaSalle Baseball.
Yeah, so before we kind of part ways here, how can they reach out to you two directly, or maybe anyone else who's involved in the cause now? Email address, Twitter, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, I mean, they can DM our Instagram account, at James on Twitter, or direct message James on Twitter at James Santore. That'd be a good way to get in touch with us. And then, we are actively, obviously James monitors his own personal Twitter account, but we obviously are actively monitoring our Instagram account as well. And like James has said, the avenues that our social media presence has opened us up to have been, what is going to ultimately make this possible, and what makes us incredibly hopeful as well.
Awesome. Well, Joe Ravert and James Santore, thanks for joining us today. And, I'm going to continue to follow the effort here to save LaSalle baseball. I'll share what I can do. I'll help, where I can help. And I think that our listeners will definitely, hopefully step up and kind of lend you guys a helping hand as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Once again, that was Joseph Ravert and James Santore, proud alumni of LaSalle University. If you have any interest in helping Joe and James in their efforts to save LaSalle baseball, please check out their Instagram page at Save LaSalle Baseball, and feel free to follow either one of them on Twitter. Joseph Ravert's handle being at That's So Ravert, and James Santore at James Santore. Like always, if you enjoyed today's episode of the S.B.R. podcast, please follow me on Twitter at SBR_podcast. I am also on Instagram at the same handle, SBR_podcast. And if you feel the need to provide any further feedback, please visit www.sportsbusinessreview.com, the official home of the SBR podcast. We are now also on Facebook and YouTube at Sports Business Review. Once again, my name is Brian McDonough, and have a great week, everyone.
Frankie. Here we go. Pizza review time. We're at Explorer's Den, campus of LaSalle, which they tell me is the only restaurant. Get a quick vibe here, Frankie. What's going on? Let's go. So why we came out? You can see the Save LaSalle baseball teams. I don't know. Somebody tweeted at me.
It's me.
It was you.
It's me.
What, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, you're like, hey, because we're all in Pennsylvania now doing the sports book. He's like, are you going to save LaSalle baseball? It's like, all right, yeah, sure. Tell me what I got to do. But there was no answer. I didn't know what the answer was going to be. And then we actually talked. So they cut the baseball program. And he's like, yeah, we just need a cool, $15 million. So I was like, what do you mean 15 mil? It was $9 million, and correct me if I'm wrong, $9 million to save the men's team,
yep.
And then you get another $6 to save the women's softball team.
For Title IX, so it's just two other women's sports.
Which I knew because my buddies played, I was telling them, at UNH back in the day. Same exact shit happened. And it seems similar with the administration. If you're throwing out that number to play baseball, you're not really trying to save the program. You just want people to go away. But you're making progress now, right?
Yep. Yeah, we've gotten through to the board, and we're just trying to make LaSalle look good here in a negative situation.
So here's the thing, Frankie. I got money. I don't got $15 million to be like, hey, go play baseball. I could buy the whole campus for $15 million looking around here. But you know, you should be allowed to play baseball. It's a couple $100,000 or whatever it is through the program. So we got to start putting pressure on LaSalle to be like, dude, keep the sports. Like, why wouldn't you? This is what people come to college for, to play. D1 team. So you got to start getting it going in Pennsylvania, even though I did think it was in Pittsburgh till like 2 days ago. But we got the whole program out here. And if you're watching this, how do people support you guys?
All right, so we have a GoFundMe, we have a mailing list. And
But what's the
follow us on
GoFundMe
Twitter.
do?
Because that's just to get awareness going. That's just to get more people that want skin in the game to actually donate to help this cause.
But are we gonna have to raise $15 million, or are we gonna like figure out a way to do this the right way?
We're working on business stuff behind the scenes, trying to actually bring the school and make the school better by generating revenue that they haven't generated before. So we have a lot going on, but the publicity you've given us and doing this type of stuff is how we actually get to that point. So we're getting close.
So it's just, to me, being my brain, it's like you just got to put pressure on the school. They probably thought, hey, we can get rid of the baseball program, a bunch of sports, no one will give a shit. Well, people give a shit because, you know, it's a key part of school, especially, you know, no offense to LaSalle, but baseball's all they got here. So let's do the Explorers Den, 1956. You says football pizza. Yeah, he made it fresh. He didn't charge us, so I'm going to give him a little bit of the benefit there. Who else is tasting? Are you the captain?
No, I graduated like 4 years ago. I'm just helping to run this thing.
These guys are on the team. Who's on the team?
These guys. All right,
who's the captain? All right.
He's the fifth. He's the guy.
We'll take it.
Let's go, Gun. Let's go.
And you guys. Then I'll do it. So what are we expecting here for the score?
9-9.
9-9 is
I
probably
see like a good 6-2.
a little flop. All right, so one bite, everybody knows the LaSalle. I can't believe you guys not even on the team. What an upset that was. No, you didn't tell me.
I work in sports betting.
All right, well, now the long con's going trying to jog.
We actually doing it right way, one bite.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. I mean, this guy struggle with it. It's campus pizza. It's drunk pizza, right?
2 a.m. That's different.
All right. Start with you. What do you got?
I'm gonna go 6-7. Pretty good today.
I think that's probably a little accurate.
I'll be honest here. The score's gonna be a little bit lower than it would be on Sunday watching the
What's
Braves.
up with that accent? Where are you from?
Philly, around here, 15 minutes away. Country hockey.
That was a Philly accent?
Country hockey.
What?
Country accent. Country hockey. Country.
It's next to Manio. It's like down the street.
That's really an accent? All right. What'd you give it?
Let's go 6-1. No hate on him.
I'll go 5-7.
These guys are being rough. The guy comped the pizza. We're doing a whole thing there, and they're killing it. I mean, it agrees a little bit. Guy was nice. I'm in a giving mood, spirit mood, 6-1 for Explorers Den, Philly, campus of LaSalle. Again, the main thing, you're saying go to the GoFund. That's the best way to support it.
Follow us on Twitter, at James Santore, at Save LaSalle Baseball on Instagram. Follow all the stuff we're doing on there, and it can
How
help
do
us
we
out
rile
with that.
people? How do you? Who made the decision to cut it?
So that's the president, the AD, and the board of trustees.
So who do you have to send emails to? Like that's what I would do. Be like, I would be.
We're already through, so we're through. Now it's just actually putting the plan together and making it happen. So we're there. You just gotta keep rolling with it and have people care about it.
I would still send emails. I get in people's asses. That's what I do.
Email. We need your help with the email. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's do
you're
it.
gonna have 1 million people watch us. Be like, yo, bring back LaSalle baseball. Where are they sending those emails? Bring back baseball.
Yeah. The AD. Yeah. Send it to us and we'll forward it to the AD.
All right, getting people's asses. That's the thing here. Bring back LaSalle baseball. That's a review. What are you guys?
Explorers.
Oh, I knew that. LaSalle Explorers. All right, that's a review, Frankie. That's a good. Keep that thing.